Ah yes, flashes in Valorant. They're the peak of comedy and everybody loves them. There's absolutely nothing wrong with them. And for that reason today, we're going to be ranking every single flash from worst to best in my opinion. Also, one last thing is I am going to ask if you can hit the like button below and subscribe. You subscribing and liking the video helps me out greatly because me being a smaller channel, it is really hard for me to grow compared to bigger channels. So you subscribing and liking helps me out greatly and puts my video in like the YouTube recommendations. Also, commenting does the same thing. So just comment literally anything. For our last place on our list, we're going to have the newest agent, and that is Gekko's Dizzy. Now, the reason why, in my opinion, Gekko's Dizzy is the worst flash in the game is for three different reasons. Number one, the flash isn't really that good because all it does is basically just cover up part of your screen. Like, I know that this is also an info gather and flash, but we're not really ranking info gathering abilities today. Today, we're mainly just going to be ranking flashes. The second reason why it's not that good is because it can easily be shut down and shot out. Because how many times if you play Gekko do you just throw out your Dizzy and it just gets shot in like a millisecond? And the last reason is that it's really it's uncertain how many times you can use it in a match. Sometimes you get games where you only use it once because you did a bad throw and it landed on a roof or in a really bad area, or there's some games that you can use like four times, and that's why it's gonna be in our last spot on this list. Phoenix's curveball is at our 7th spot of this list because of the fact that it's just really poorly balanced. The way they made this flash is that effectively when they made it, they made a flash that can only go around corners. And because it was really bad, they decided, alright, let's balance it by making the most undodgeable flash in the game. To this day, it's the most bullshit and annoying flash ever. Honestly, the only way I can possibly think of fixing it is by just completely reworking it. Also, every time I get into a game of a Phoenix, I always get flashed by them. And it's honestly really annoying, and I really want to strangle. Now in our 6th spot, we're going to have Reyna's near sight. Now the reason why Reyna's near sight is pretty low compared to other flashes is because of just how easily it can be shut down. Because Reyna's near sight is a near sight instead of a flash, it can be easily shot and destroyed, and then they can just immediately go back to shooting you in the head. And because of that, and all the limits that this flash has in place, that is why it's in 6th place. In lower ranks, it's really good, but in higher ranks, all it becomes is really just a crosser displacement. Omen's flash is really good, but it also has a couple things that hold it back from being the best. Number one is that it is a near sight, meaning that if you push a close angle, you might still be able to get shut down because they'll still be able to see you if you're close enough. Another problem is that Omen only gets one of them. Now, unlike other flashes where usually you get 2, sometimes even 3 when it comes to like Skye or Old Breach, Omen only has one of them, and that's why it is like really limiting. Also, this flash has a lot of travel time, and sometimes you have to be positioned in a specific way to actually get someone, so it's also more of a supporting flash in many ways, and it's for all of those reasons why it's like not at the top, but it's also not at the bottom because it is actually really good. Now for the remaining 4 flashes, these are going to be extremely preference based for me. All of these flashes I think are top tier and really good, but when it comes to these, they're going to be completely my preference, so keep that in mind. For our number 4 spot, it is Skye's Bird. Now, the reason why Skye's Bird is really low compared to the other 4 flashes is because of the fact that it's not really that easy to use, and you gotta learn it that much. Now, me as someone who doesn't really play Skye that much, I'm not really that good with it, but if you watch any extremely good Skye players, you'll see that they can do some crazy fucking shit, and honestly, those guys scare me. For the 3rd spot, this is actually my favorite flash in the game because of just how easily controllable it is, and that's going to be Yoru's flash. Now, Yoru's flash is really good because effectively, you can control where it can pop, because the way that Yoru's flash works is you can throw it, and after it hits something, it will bounce and then pop. And because you effectively know how it works, where, alright, you can throw it anywhere, and after the bounce, it will pop, it is like really consistent, so you could do many crazy shit with it. You can do pop flashes, you can like flash out of a smoke, you can do a support flash, you could like do a flash off the top of like a building that's really far away, in which the enemies will get flashed just out of the corner of their eye. There's just so many things you can do with Yoru's flash, and just so much trickery you can do to make it really, really work. Now for our second spot on our list, we're gonna have Breach's Shock, and that's because of just how iconic this flash is. If I think of like one ability in Valorant that literally everybody knows, it's probably has to be Breach's Flashpoint, and that's because I swear everybody at least knows what this ability is because of just how much of a meme it is. The amount of shitposts and memes I've seen off of one of these abilities. Also, I've also actually made a meme of this ability. It's just super iconic. Like, I like how Breach is like all about earthquakes and displacement, but most people know Breach not from like all of his other abilities, but because of his flash. And as for like all of this reasons that Breach has to be in the second spot on our list. And for our number one spot, we have the CSGO Flash, also known as the KO Flash. Now, the reason why the KO Flash is so good is because effectively it has two different modes, and both of these modes are really, really good, and you could do many good stuff with it. His left click is for more far away flashes, and you could like throw it into the air, throw it around corners. Like, you can get really creative with these, and if you ever want to see just how crazy this flash can be, just watch one pro game where they're using KO. Like, you will generally be stunned. And his right click is really good for pop flashes and flashing around corners. Overall, just these two different modes coming together just probably has to be the best flash in the game. Also, another thing is that the amount of shit KOs I've seen that literally can't aim for shit but end up top fragging because they can rely on his flashes is also like, it's kind of funny because the amount of boosted KOs I see that completely rely on their flash, it just shows just how powerful this flash is, and that's why it has to be number one. And that's basically my list. Sorry if this video feels a little bit sore, or sometimes the audio was different. As I said, I am a little sick in this video and my microphone is different. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button below and subscribe, and I'll see you guys all in my next video. Goodbye.